Like they have this thing called all children matters. And I see Esau take offense to that. But they don't really realize the meaning behind that. Esau's kids are, they've already mattered. If a young white girl go missing, everybody's looking for her. But you have the trails of tears where multiple indigenous women went missing.
We think now, finally, after all these years, we're on the same playing field as the white folk, right? And all the other people, right? But we're not.
Where's the love at in that? Where is everybody looking for them? No, they just left them there to die. They don't mean anything, right? So when it goes with all children matters, meaning, hey, we matter too. But in this society, God doesn't matter. You have their land, you have their resources. Like I said, it goes back to just think about it. I come to your house. I'll take over your house and I say, you go live in the bathroom. But you come here, here, and here, but you still have to go in the living room. Then I take all that away from you. How would you feel? Imagine how they feel. They've been taken off their country, put in reservations in the corners of the cities. And then you look how the people live in the streets on top of that. Some of them can't deal with what the atrocity they've been through. And that's why they still, from this day, generation to generation, psychological problems. This is why they're on drugs. This is why they're drinking alcohol. This is why they're in gangs. This is why they're in prostitution. This is why these things are happening. It's because of all the violence, the rape, the pillage of this land they did to those people. That's genocide. Do this quick, man.
So we're currently in BC, Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is the Kamloops Indian Residential School. As you see, the building is still standing, but that's actually a building that was rebuilt due to the original building being burnt down, like they always say, right? So they turned the building into a museum. They turned the residential school into a museum. Now, when you look at this sign here, Kamloops Indian Residential School, the school was built in 1890, then rebuilt in 1923. So the original building was built in 1890, but then it was rebuilt in 1923 due to a fire and remained open until 1977. 1977, a lot of us was born already. You know, some of our fathers, grandfathers, they were already born in 1977. So this is recent. And then it says, in the 1920s, Native children aged from 14 to 15 years were forcibly taken and prohibited from seeing their families, practicing their languages, culture, and tradition. Children attending KIRS experienced extreme isolation and segregation. So as you see, these are all part of the curses. When we read Deuteronomy 28, all right, verse 32, it says, your sons and your daughters will be given unto another people. Meaning what? You won't see your kids anymore. Verse 41, it says, you will have children, but you will not enjoy them because they will go into captivity. So this is what it is. That residential school, it was for the children, the young indigenous children from 4 to 15 to go into captivity. They will not know, they won't be able to see their parents anymore. Their language will be taken away. Their culture will be taken away. Their identity will be taken away. This is captivity. All right? You are the children of Israel. Get this one? Yeah. Now, when you look at this one, this is a monument. It says Kamloops Indian Residential School Monument. 1893 to 1977. It says this monument is dedicated to honor all survivors from the Sekwipim bands who attended the Kamloops residential school, who all suffered the genocide period in the history of the Kamloops Indian residential school. Genocide happened here. A lot of young indigenous got murdered, got molested, got raped. Their identity was stripped away. So they faced extreme oppression. And when we look at this, this is part of the curses that's written in the scriptures. All right? That's a prophecy that would happen to the children of Israel, which are the so-called Native American Indian or the First Nations. You are the Israelites from the tribe of Gad. And that was prophesied in the scriptures that would happen to you. All right? Who all suffered the genocide period in the history of Kamloops Indian Residential School, and to honor all survivors who are not with us today, but are with us in spirit. Now you see these names here? That's one of the bands. You see, these are all the names of those that died in the Kamloops Indian Residential School. And we all know there's way more than that. But that's what was found and is being mentioned. But we know, as we've seen recently, there have been way more than this. There have been unmarked graves of children that have not been identified. So we know it's way more than these names. This is another band right here. And you see there's multiple names of all those that suffered the atrocities in the Indian residential school. So now they're doing all of that as a museum, and we know who gets the benefit behind it is the oppressor, the so-called white man, Esau. He gets all the benefit behind it, so he gets the profit out of it. So what he does is that he commits genocide, murder, and then he gains the money off our backs, and that's written in the scriptures. Let's read that real quick. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 12. But they counted our life as pastime, and our time here a market for gain. Our pastime is, these are all the names that have been passed. But now they're using that as a market for gain. That's how they make their money. For say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. All of that you see, this is all by evil means. They raped, robbed, murdered the indigenous people, the people of the land of Canada, the land of Turtle Island, and yet they're still making gain off their back, even though they're in the grave. This is something to think about. You are the Israelites.
Native Americans make up nearly 16% of opioid overdose deaths.
So serious that it's pretty much wiping out a generation.
I sell myself, and I also sell merchandise on the side just to make good money. And each day is the same over and over again.
Jesus was a brown man. There is no questions asked, and if you think otherwise, you're a fool.
The procedure is entirely a devotional exercise. The purpose is to subdue the passions of the flesh and to improve the spiritual self. All that is related right back to the scripture.
Churches, the RCMP, we don't even know our culture anymore. You can't speak your culture, you can't wear long hair, you can't even talk your language. This is what the white people done to us. You guys are doing a great job and keep going. There's not enough people that are standing up for you, for me, for all our missing and murdered indigenous women.
And none else.
And if they unite and they apply the knowledge that the Bible has been calling them to do, we will be free, but now we are not free.
I'm Nicole. They call me Nicole. My free name, my real name is Lori Chikohopi. And I've been down here for like 23 years. I'm the bank teacher downtown East Side. I came here because my former boyfriend, his friend gave him an idea that it would be easy to make money for a 14-year-old to be on the street, sell themselves on the corner. So the next day we were out here and I was doing just exactly what it said. It was a scary thing, and we had no place to go. I was living on the streets for 7 years. But each day down here is a really big struggle. And by the time I'm finished, you know, I'm ready to go to sleep again. And also, I have a drug habit, which causes me to hustle to make money. I sell myself, and I also sell merchandise on the side just to make good money so I can buy whatever I smoke. But all in all, it all goes up in smoke. And each day is the same thing over and over again. But here I am still. There's a lot of fentanyl going around. There's a lot of people are dying really fast, and lots of people every day. It's really hard now. I can barely move, but I'm still doing it because I need my drugs.
Adults can legally possess small amounts of some illicit drugs, opioid, cocaine, meth, and ecstasy for personal use in specific places including private homes, shelters, and outpatient addiction, overdose prevention, and drug checking service locations. Who do you think the majority of those people are? They are the Israelites. They are our people, the indigenous, the so-called blacks. That's what they're going through. That's what they're taking. And now when we look at the statistics, it says in 2024, the stats of BC unregulated drugs death are 572 deaths. And that's the majority of those deaths is our people. That's why it's important for us to come out here to explain to our people, you know what, although they may legalize the drugs in our community, but we have the power to make the decision not to take them. Because if we do, watch what the scripture says. When we read 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16, it says, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God," how do we defile our temple? Is by us going against the scriptures, going against the commandments of God. The scripture says to be sober. If we decide to start taking drugs, opioid, cocaine, meth, ecstasy, this is actually defiling our temple. And when we do that, the consequence is, if any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. So God will destroy you. And how does God do these things? Is by you making an overdose. Now you make an overdose, now you're dead. Now you may end up having different kinds of diseases, and now you end up dead. So this is why the statistics goes back to 572 deaths. And amongst those 572 deaths, 15% of those deaths are in the streets, sidewalks, and park. So what's happening right now is the fact that they're legalizing those drugs, they have made the damage already. So now it's up to us to bring the word of God, so that could be the ultimate cure for our people.
My name is Valad, and I'm 44 years old, and I am from Hachlip. This is called Hachlip Nation.
Okay, awesome. So how long you've been living on this reserve?
Well, actually, I lived here until I was about 13, and then I actually got shipped to a group home, and been away from home for 20 years, and then I just got back here like about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So I was kind of away, but I was still like around here. And this is actually my beloved dad's house. He just passed away last year. Yeah, and I live here with my brother and my boyfriend. And Actually, pretty much all of our family stay here in this reserve. There's 3 parts. There's Fountain Flats, and there's Main Res, and then there's Chill Hill. And there's about 3 lakes up that way.
So, what would you like to be changed in this community, like to improve the living condition within this reserve?
More renovations, I guess. More access to funds for mostly like we don't have it too rough here. We're not too bad, but I would say more advocacy for trauma and single mothers, as well as uniting the youth and the elderly together as well. We do have a lot of, you know, alcohol and drugs going around, of course, as usual, is where it happens. Yeah, I don't know.
And what would you say some of the traumas and atrocities that happen around here?
Well, right on my front porch there, about just over a year ago, one of my friends, he OD'd, and then they thought that I was under suspicion of his death. So there was FBI and cops surrounding me, and they had me on lockdown for 24 hours and then left his body on the ground for 24 hours. And my dad was very ill, and he was in the bedroom, and then I was just stuck in the house. And yeah, that was just so awful, like how they were able just to leave my friend on the ground. He was dead. Yeah, and yeah, that just happened a little over a year ago. And just my dad too, when he passed away, it was from alcoholism. And yeah, I stayed here for 2 years with him, and I took care of him and everything like that. And yeah, there's like more trauma, as in just the usual, I guess, domestic violence and kids getting taken away from their parents. And
By who? Who take their kids away from the parents?
Just like the ministry, I guess you call them, the child and family or whatever. And just due to the, I guess, the drinking and the just not being able to support their own children. Yeah.
Okay. Our people were killed, massacred. They didn't take us from one place and put us in another, but they killed us until we learned to be quiet. My grandmother told me, don't speak your language in school because we will go to jail. I've had my mouth washed out with soap. I know what soap tastes like because I spoke my language. They told us, no, don't do it. They try to wipe that away from us. We were taken into the churches. We were made to pray. We were made all of this. Even the priest hit my hands with a ruler, with a stick. You know, the priest would beat us. You know, that's what I know. But I learned from our way, I forgive him for that because he doesn't know what he's doing.
That we should be saved from our enemies. Are you saved from your enemies? We're out here to teach the truth. Leave us. What are they hiding from us? That we are the greatest people on the earth. This is the revealing of Jesus Christ.
Que Jesucristo es un hombre negro y no es blanco. Aquí estamos predicando la verdad.
Was so dark it looked like he burned in a furnace. Meaning Christ was what? Christ was a black man.
Esa boleta tiene mucha información, tiene los números, tiene website, el YouTube, pero tú estás a seguir.
Remember your initial question? How do we get conquered? Why are we so separated? You said it with your question.
how are we able to break that cycle of oppression, that cycle of, you know, of the missing indigenous children, the missing indigenous women, that George Floyd that happened, that Parsi Dumas that happened in Alberta, that all these situations that happen. How are we able to break that curse?
Well, I just think my youngest daughter is 20 now, but when she was 16, she said to her mom one day, she says, "Mom, with Bessie William, like Tears of Furies up in Prince George, that's where a lot of them got murdered, hitchhiking." My daughter looked at her mom and said, "Mom, how come when they're at First Nation, they don't do nothing? But if it was a Caucasian girl, the cops would be out checking everything. Well, how come when that's one of our own people, they don't do nothing?" Right? Well, look what happened in Regina, where they were finding those girls murdered in a waste site. That's just like 2 months ago. And they went and found remains. Right? So it's throughout Canada, man.
So the atrocity that we're living, there must be a way for us to break that. Because if we go back to our way of life, right? Because I know the indigenous, they believe in one creator, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what? Black people, they also believe in one creator.
The creator is all the same person, just how what we call them, right?
Right. But the thing is, when you look at society, there's different denomination, different religion.
Yeah.
So we might think that, you know what, everybody might believe in one creator, but if they did, there wouldn't have been so much religion on this earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you believe in the creator, that one creator. Black people also believe in one creator, and the Hispanics also believe in one creator. So now us believing in that creator, there's certain rules and instructions that they gave us, that he gave us to follow, right? So if we are following these instructions, there will be a possibility for us to break that curse, because this is the reason why that we are being oppressed. If you look at us, why is it?
I think the other part too is we tell our kids, our people are getting educated today.
Yeah.
Like you guys. We got our own lawyers, we have our own doctors. So education's a big part too.
Yep.
You got to get educated.
Knowledge is very important, because when you look at our people, we are mentally destroyed for lack of knowledge, because of slavery, colonialism. We have been assimilated. Now we follow the ways of the oppressor, right? Because like a lot of us now, we celebrate what? We celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving. Although Thanksgiving is, you know, the destruction of the Native Americans, some Native Americans, they now follow Thanksgiving because they have been assimilated. But we have to come back from that and come back to our way of life.
We are the Israelites. Right. We are the people, we are the descendants of the people in this Bible. This Bible is not a book of religion, this Bible is our history. That's what the world wants us to believe, that this is a book of religion, that we have to look for this, and we're going to have to be a Seventh-day Adventist, a Pentecostal, a Baptist to say we're going to believe in the Bible. We don't subscribe to none of those different denominations, because we know what the Bible is actually telling us. So you said a bunch of things. All right, let's get you have something there? Get 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. Because you said one thing, there's so much truth and understanding being put in here, but for some reason, they're putting things out there to lead us astray, like the cell phone, like whatever's out in the media, whatever's out, you know what I'm saying? There's so many different things. It's like we live in a pick your poison society. So they're going to throw everything at us from all angles, and you're going to stick to something. Something is going to grab you. Something is going to make you want to say, you know what? I like this, and I'm going to, you know, dedicate my life and focus on this, right? It might be sports. It might be the women. It might be drugs. It might be, you know what I'm saying? Whatever different things. Yeah, music. So that's why I was showing you this scripture right here. And this is what we have to focus on. And this is what's going to help us not fall off the path that we're on. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived.
So he said that, don't be fooled. Do not be fooled, because that's what the world is trying to do. It's trying to fool us all, keep us asleep, so that they can continue to rule in power. Because if we're awake and we do the right things and we keep the laws, not just individually, but as a nation, they don't have that power that they have anymore. Read that again.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Evil communication, whether it be the music, Because you see all the music they put out for our people to want to kill each other, the drill music. Then we got like the Cardi B's, all of these women degrading themselves. It's all this type of music is to corrupt us. It said evil communication is going to corrupt our good manners. Read that last part again.
Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So now we're learning the Bible. We say we want to follow the Bible, but we still might have a liking to rap music, or we might still have a liking to, you know, TV series. So you see these shows, oh, Power and, you know, Snowfall and all these different shows that be entertaining, BMF and whatever other stuff that they have. They might be entertaining, but it's really teaching us to follow that same cycle. Why are we always drug dealers, killing each other, robbing? Why can't we have a better role and a different type of lifestyle and different mentality? Because they want us to stick into that lane. They don't want us to be, you know, some more or different from what the norm is, right? So these are the things, I'm just using that for an example. And you said religion, because get Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Because even with the religion, I know we have, like I said, we have Pentecostal, we have Catholic, we have Baptist, we have all these different things. They all believe in the Bible, but there's different groups, and they, oh, we're not Baptist, we're you know what I'm saying, we're Seventh-day Adventists, but it's the same Bible. So shouldn't you guys all have the same belief? Yeah. There's reason there, and then some people might say, you know what, I don't believe in the Bible. I believe in Islam, and they follow the Quran. The Bible, God, he even touched on that. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
So that's one of the prophecies for us breaking, one of the curses that's going to happen to us for breaking God's laws as a nation. Because he gave us the laws, he said, if you obey, I'm going to give you blessings. If you disobey, you're going to get the curses. Of our people were rebellious, if you can see how our people move. So the curses fell upon us. So he said he's gonna scatter us from one end of the earth to the other. Go on.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
So there, wherever we was brought, we might have been brought to China. We might have been brought to, you know, Spain. We might have been brought to wherever. We're gonna serve other gods when we got brought to these different locations. Go on.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Right.
Even wood and stone.
Wood and stone, because that's a clue of the two major religions that we're going to follow. The wood is representing the Christianity, the cross. That's a symbol of death, and the stone is the Kaaba stone, where they go and they say they're going to do a Hajj and they go to Mecca and they walk around. Inside, in the middle of that box is a stone that they feel is something that came from heaven or whatever. It's like a meteorite or whatever, but they actually feel like it's something of God. So they say we're going to serve other gods, wood and stone. If you look at the black people, majority of us, if we're not Christian, we're Muslim, right? There might be odd people that might be Rastafari, or some people might be Hindu or whatever, Buddhist, but that's rare. The main is either Christian or Muslim. So these are the clues. I'm just picking out random things based off of what you're saying that's giving us the answers as to why our people are in the condition they're in. As leadership always says, before we can take this truth nationally, we got to be able to do the work locally.
My history teachers, they never took the time to teach us this.
They don't want to teach you that.
And that priest knocked him over and stomped on his chest.
So what was our mindset? To go throughout the whole of Ontario.
Be praying, you wouldn't even know you were praying for what you did. Why you were praying.
And they would use the RCMP to reinforce certain things that they didn't like going on in the reservation.
You had the RCMP on their side, the Indian agency on the other side.
Find out where our people are and give them the true understanding of the Bible.
Well, what I was taught was the fringes are honor of our Creator, our Maker.
Significance of fringes is that you're grounded to the ground, to the Creator.
So we want to make sure they understand they are the Israelites, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Natives.
Based off of the genocide of our people.
Wherever they were going to these different regions.
When I do my research and homework, we are descendants of Jacob, and we are the true Israelites.
Push Christianity down their throat, all in the name of white Jesus.
Speak very, very well. But that's the wisdom of man. That's the wisdom of this world. Paul and Roland. Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.